Hey guys, what's up? I'm Em and welcome to Redline Online. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if it's your first time here, we are so glad you joined us. Let me tell you a little bit about our youth group. So right now, with this whole thing going on, we are currently meeting online, but our mission is to lead you to your maximum God dream life. We believe God has something amazing planned for your life, and meeting together, even if it's not in person, we believe it is an essential part of God's plan for your life. We hope you stay connected, reach out to us in our live group chat or join us on our Zoom meeting after service. We want you to be a part of this. But for now, let's play a game.
Let's play a game.
What's up, everyone? Ooh. Alright, good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's episode of Redline TV. I'm your host, Julian Rivera. That is not the tone that I want to set right now. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Redline TV. That's right. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We're gonna have an awesome time. I'm your game host, Julian Rivera. You can call me Theo Jules, of course. I want to start this game off by asking you a little question. How many of you guys like food? Anyone? Yeah, thought so. Food is just so good. Besides the fact that we need it, obviously, to survive, it's the life force of sustenance. It's just amazing. But besides providing nutrients for our bodies, you know what else it feeds? The soul. Am I right? There's something about those greasy, delicious foods that, like, when we take it in, we know that we're just like, this is gonna be terrible for me, but it's gonna feel so good. And then just like, this is what true love must feel like. That is why tonight's game is called Soul Food. Instead of going head to head with each other like the last couple weeks, we want to know a couple things about you. Decisions are hard, we know this. So take turns choosing between something your soul might desire or a food fantasy. So we're gonna have two options and I want you guys to choose which one you'd rather have. I'll be playing along and I wanna see your answers. I wanna see what you put down, what makes you tick. So type your answers in the chat and describe why. Some of you might come up with crazy things that I just totally don't agree with, but I wanna know why. I'll share with you my answers if you share with me yours, all right? Sounds good? Here's the first question. Would you rather travel free to a new country every 6 months or have a personal chef on call? Wow, okay, so traveling free to a new country is gonna be something good for the soul, right? But having a personal chef on call, that's a huge food fantasy. That'd be awesome to have a personal chef on call like every day, like whatever I wanted, every day for as many times as I wanted. Like that's super sick. But I also feel like I would probably just eat myself sick all the time. Like I'm gonna want the best tasting stuff no matter how bad it is for myself. So, and I love traveling. So I'm probably gonna side on the soul end of this one and travel free to a new country every 6 months. The only reasons I don't already do that is because of money and vacation time off. I can't take all that time off and I don't got the guap for it. What do you guys think? If you don't agree with me, fight with me. Like, prove that your answer is better. Like, I wanna hear what you guys got. You guys have some interesting answers for sure, but we're gonna keep it moving with the next one. Would you rather instantly master another language or have access to Chick-fil-A on Sundays? Wow, see, now this is tough because automatically, the second one, you have access to something nobody else has, right? Chick-fil-A is gonna remain closed for everybody else. It's like exclusive access to Chick-fil-A on Sundays. That's super dope. So what would you guys pick and why? Why, do you really like chicken that much? For me, I'd probably rather the language. I have family that speaks Spanish and I do not speak a lick of it, very well at least. Now, if this question said whenever you want, Popeyes, even though the store is closed, come on now. Keep the answers flowing, people. We're gonna move to the next one in 3, 2, 1. Which would you rather do? Play in a room filled with 1,000 puppies and or kittens, or have dinner with any celebrity of your choice? Now you guys already know how I feel about dogs, all right? Puppies, especially. Puppies! 1,000, like that's a lot of animals. That is a lot of pups. How much joy would that bring? Come on. And for that reason, I think I would lean towards playing in a room filled with 1,000 puppies, particularly kittens. I'll accept kittens, but that just warms the soul. Having dinner with a celebrity would be pretty sweet, but I would just be afraid to be let down. But puppies aren't gonna let me down in any way. They could be biting my hand off. I'd still love it. I'd still be like, oh, you're so cute. So that is my answer. Hope you guys agree with me. Let's move on to the next one. Would you rather get to know who you will marry or make any food item appear at the snap of your fingers? Wow, this is tough, but I think for everybody, there's a deep down desire that they want to know the future a little bit, right? They want to know who they're going to end up with, if they want to end up with anyone. So that is a burning desire. However, make any food item appear at the snap of your fingers? That'd be pretty amazing. That's better than the personal chef, kind of. I kind of like the adventure of life. I'm gonna figure out my life partner down the line. I'm gonna want that food to immediately appear and then disappear a couple seconds after I eat it. And just go, like Kobayashi. Who's with me on that one? Anybody? Anybody? Yeah, let me see it, let me see it. Next one, would you rather instantly gain 1 million followers on Instagram or own a never-ending Sonic Blast? So I'm gonna pause this right here because I don't know if I've ever had a Sonic Blast, so I'm gonna take it up a notch. I'm gonna replace Sonic Blast with your favorite beverage. If you like that dragon fruit passion tea from Starbucks, or if you like your iced matcha green tea with honey, swirls on it or whatever, take that. What if you had a never-ending container of your favorite beverage? Would you rather that or 1 million followers on Instagram? It would be pretty cool to be Insta-famous, but if I'm honest, I'd rather always be able to quench my thirst with my favorite drink than be famous. I think because there's a lot of responsibility that comes with fame, you know what I'm saying? Now I am hungry and thirsty for that matter. Next one. Would you rather get free tickets to your favorite sporting event or concert, or start an epic food fight at school and not get in trouble? Okay, now this is hard for me because I love going to concerts. That is one of my favorite things to do. However, I've never been in a food fight. I don't know if you guys have ever, but I've always been jealous of all the movies that I've watched growing up where there's a food fight that breaks out and it just starts with one person. And I'm thinking about this in my head. I'm like, I think that's the only reason why nobody did that is because they just don't want to get in trouble. Like, what if there was a planned event at school where you like prepared, and you like tarped down the floors, the windows, you brought an extra change of clothes, and you guys like had hosted an event in your cafeteria, a planned and legal food fight. Like, how cool would that be? So you know what? I might go to the food fight. I wouldn't eat any of the food. I love concerts so much, but food fights, but that's kind of like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Concerts will be there. There will always be concerts. So that's my vote. Hope you guys agree with me. Next one. Would you rather possess the power to control the weather? Wow, that is a lot of power. Or cafeteria food is now replaced with 5 restaurants of your choosing. Wow. To me, this is a no-brainer, but I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Think about your 5 favorite restaurants to eat. You had access to every single one every time you were in the school cafeteria, or you can control the weather. To me, this is a no-brainer. Control the weather. You kidding me? You don't want to go to school? You do a snow day. You want to go to the beach on a day where nobody else is going to be there? Make it thunderstorm so the beaches are cleared and everything out, and then by the time you drive down to the beach, you can just make it all go away, and it's sunny, and it's party time, right? Like, who would want that? That is my vote. Possess the power to control the weather, no doubt. It'd be awesome. It'd be like summer every day. Let's put it that way. All right, next one. Would you rather have an all expenses paid road trip with 5 friends, or all food is magically healthy for you? Wow. I love road trips. I love traveling. But my biggest weakness about the food is that all the things I like are unhealthy for me. That is an invaluable thing. All food is magically healthy for you. I'm going with that, man. I want to eat burgers and chips and mac and cheese and pizza and cinnamon buns. Oh my gosh, have you had Taco Bell's little like Cinnabon bites with the cream in the middle and this? What? Where am I? I just blacked out there for a second. Those things are amazing. That's it. That's what I'm picking. Fight me. All right, next one. Would you rather have 3 months of school and 9 months of summer? Ooh, or swim in a pool filled with Jell-O? First of all, what kind of Jell-O? That's important, because if it's like lemon Jell-O or like lime Jell-O, you can keep your swimming pool. That's fine. But if it's like strawberry Jell-O or like mango Jell-O or something like that, then you got my attention. Here's the thing that concerns me about having 3 months of school is like, will I really like ever learn anything? But you know what they say is like, sometimes you learn more out on the streets, you know what I'm saying? So 9 months of that summer street life, like, I think I can learn a thing or two. So I might go with that. That'd be a lot of fun. All right, and the last would you rather comparison. Would you rather have a $100 shopping spree to your favorite store or have the next hamburger at McDonald's be named after you? Wow, that's bold. All right, you know what? I'm gonna up the ante a little bit. $100 is not a lot of money. I think I buy like 2 pairs of jeans and a shirt, and if I'm lucky, I don't break $100. So how about this? Would you rather have a $1,000 shopping spree at your favorite store or have a hamburger named after you at McDonald's? What is your answer? What would you rather have? For those of you who picked the burger option, how much money would it take for you to make the deal a little more interesting? Is it $2,000? $3,000? What if you had $5,000 shopping spree to your favorite store? Would you still take the burger? If the answer is yes, let me raise you $10,000 shopping spree to whatever you wanted. Whatever. You can't go to the Lamborghini store though, because $10,000 not gonna cut it. How much money would it take for you to give up you having a burger named after you? I'm just interested. This is just a bonus question at this point. Something to think about. How much is that worth to you? Sorry. And all right, guys, that concludes tonight's game, Soul Food. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little bit about yourself and your friends too. Some of you are probably gonna care more about the health of your soul. And some of us, frankly, are just gonna care more about the food, right? Like, nothing wrong with that. Like, where my foodies at? Foodies? Yep, that's what I thought. My roommate just gave a hoot hoot. So, this is our final week listening to what Life Church's youth group has been teaching, and it's definitely gonna be a message worth listening to, I promise you. It's a message called Yesterday, Today, and Forever. Check it out.
My name is Ryan Hunter, and tonight we're gonna do something a little bit differently. Now, a few months ago, one of our youth pastors, Cedric, recorded an incredible message called Finish Strong, and it was all about our verse for the semester, Hebrews 13:8, which says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Now tonight, instead of just going to his message and watching it on its own, we're actually gonna watch a clip of it, then come back together and dissect it a bit and talk about how this truth can impact our lives in a major way. It's gonna be a powerful message, so I pray we all lean in and learn a truth that can change our lives forever. So lean in, as Pastor said, joins us right now.
I believe each and every one of us, again, we want to finish strong, and there's times in our life it's like, man, it's difficult. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Matter of fact, there's an account in the Bible that talks about that in Hebrews. The same exact thing. There were people that were saying, you know what? We want to elevate Jesus and we want to finish strong, but it is difficult. How do we do this? And the author is writing, and he's giving them some encouragement on what does it mean to finish strong. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read the last 3 chapters, part of those, and allow us to know how we can finish strong. And so he talks about it in chapter 11. He talks about, here are the Hall of Famers. Here are the people that finished strong. And again, we pick it up in verse 1. It says, now faith is confidence in what we hope for and the assurance about what we do not see. Now, here's the thing. This is what each and every one of them were doing. They had faith in action. And again, it says, by faith, here's what Noah did. By faith, here's what Abraham did. These were people that were Hall of Famers when it came to finishing strong. So here's what we need to do. And then in chapter 12, here's what he says at the very first chapter. He says, therefore, since we're surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so entangles. And here's the part you need to know. Let us run the race with perseverance, the race that is marked out for us. So what does it mean? The race is marked out for them. The race is marked out for you. But here's the perspective change that needed to happen for them and needs to happen for you. What's in between? Hear me when I say this. They were pointing and they were talking. They were actually scholars of the Old Testament. And they were saying, you know what? It was about what we were doing. Listen, this is what I'm doing. Here is the sacrifice I was doing. And here's what the author is saying. Oh, come on, somebody. He is saying it is not about what you do. It's about what he did. And it goes to chapter 13 and it says in 8, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And now this is your new foundation.
Powerful stuff right off the jump from Pastor Said. He is basically laying the table for what we're about to talk about tonight, which is faith. What do we have faith in? The fact that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So this is how we finish strong. We have faith in that truth right there. But how do we do it? How do we practically live this out? Well, great news. Pastor Said keeps going on and he gives us 3 ways we can have the faith to finish strong. So let's go back to Pastor Said and hear these 3 ways.
We have to remember as we're praising God today, we cannot wait to the next switch to do that. We need to do that every single day. And actually, I'm gonna give you some simple steps to keep this theme every single day of your life moving forward. So the first thought, again, is this, is that we should never forget yesterday. We should never forget yesterday. For many of you, I know it's been a difficult semester, but I also know God showed up. God has showed up and he showed out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it in perspective this way. How many of you, right now, you had an opportunity to eat today? There we go. How many of you would say, I have a roof over my head? Right. Those 2 things, somebody wishes they had that opportunity. Let me ask you another one. How many of you had an opportunity to take a shower today? Now, I don't know about some of you middle school students. I don't know why you ain't got that figured out. But seriously, as I think about yesterday, as I remember where God has brought me from, here's the thing. I never want to forget where he's brought me from. Because I think when I do, I start to think that I'm here because I'm good, but I'm only here because he is good. And so I never want to forget yesterday, and I want to be grateful because the very thing that we take for granted is the same thing that somebody else is praying and wishing they had. Somebody is praying right down your street, wishing they had a roof over their head, wishing they could take a shower, wishing they had the things that so often that we take for granted. Let us not forget yesterday. Let us not forget what God has provided. Matter of fact, I know for some of you like me, you may not always jive with your parents, but you know what? Man, they put a roof over your head. They've allowed you the opportunity even to hear this message. And so we need to be thankful for them. We need to be thankful for our yesterday. And again, never forget where we came from. The next thing is that we need to do something today. How many of you have the spiritual gift of spiritual procrastination? All right? If you're thinking to yourself, if he asked it again, then I'll raise my hand. That means you have it, okay?
Okay, so great points today from Pastor Said. Point 1, we're gonna remember yesterday. Point 2, we're going to do something today. Now, in this time in our life, I think a lot of us have been struggling because we want to help, but we don't exactly know how. For many of you, you were great at serving in the church before this happened. You served people every single week and that's how you gave. But now you're stuck inside with your family. So now, instead of focusing on what you can't do anymore, focus on the people God put in front of you and serve and love your family right where you're at. Or maybe for some of you before, you were great at inviting people to church at school every single week. And now you can't go to school every single week, but you can still invite people. Invite people to church online. Instead of focusing on what we can't do, focus on what we can do. Who are the people God has put in front of you today that you can participate in a faith with them? You can lead them to Jesus. You can show them your faith. What can you do today to serve others, to love others, to have faith today? When we focus on the present, when we focus on today, it helps us have a faith to finish. So what we're gonna do, the first 2 steps, we're gonna remember yesterday. Remember your why. This is your fuel. Second, we participate in doing something good today. Now, point 3, let's go back to Cedric and hear what our 3rd step is.
And the last thought is this, is point people to the future, the real future, the future that goes beyond us. Here's what I mean, is I think about the future and I start to take a self-inventory of like, what am I thinking? Like, what's my perspective for the future? I think about, what have I been praying for? You know, one of the things that we do every single night is that we come together and we're like, you know what, we're gonna pray. We're gonna pray every single night. I have 3 boys, Jace, Jameson, and Jude. And every single night I pray, Lord, will you allow one of them to be an athlete in Jesus' name? Everyone said? Amen. Thank you for that. But that's not a bold prayer, right? I need to be bold. And as I think about being bold today, I'm asking myself the question, am I being bold in my prayers for the future? Am I pointing them to be an athlete or men of God? And here's the thing, like this messed me up a few months ago because, you know, when we're there praying, we usually assign somebody, here's who's gonna pray. And if we don't assign somebody, Jameson, my middle son, he's 7, he always raises his hand. He's like, I got it. And I'm like, okay. And let me tell you what, Jameson prays with passion, okay? So Jameson's praying with passion, but I'm noticing what he's saying is just kind of routine. Like every time we go to bed, he would say, God is good, God is great, let us take it for his plate, amen. I'm like, Jameson, I don't really work there. We're not about to eat, man. But as I started thinking about why is he praying this routine prayer, I realized, man, did he get that from me? Have I been praying routine prayers? Why has my son not heard me pray bold prayers at home? Because if I just pray them from the stage, I'm missing out. You see, y'all can get somebody else at the stage, but I get one opportunity there with my family. And that's my first ministry. And I thought, man, am I not praying bold prayers for him? For them, am I not modeling that? And I asked you this question. If the people around you heard you pray, how big would they think God is? I'm gonna say it again. If the people around you heard you pray, how big would they think God is? Because we serve a big God. And the other thought that I have is, even in that same vein, is again, am I living in a way that says that I'm gonna live forever? Here's what I mean. The reason why I take this so to heart is that many of you know my story. You know, my dad walked out on us when I was 3 years old. And day after day, I was frustrated. Obviously, it didn't hit me when I was young, but when I was in middle school, I was frustrated. When I was in high school, I was frustrated. But then I allowed it to fuel me. And I said, you know what? I looked at my sons and I said, I will not do what my father did. I'm gonna continue to fight for you every single day. And so that's when I look back at the prayer, I'm like, no, Sage, you gotta step it up. You gotta step it up. But also, here's what I also know is that I can't just point them to me, right? At one point, they're gonna live on and I'm gonna be gone. And here's what I wanna do. I don't want them to point them just to me. I want to point them to the example as I follow Christ. I want to point them to the Heavenly Father that's going to be here with them even when I'm gone. And that's the same thing I would say to you, is are you pointing people to Jesus? Because he's going to be here and he is ready. He is ready to change lives. And us realizing Jesus has been, and is and always will be our hope. You know why? Because even today, and what he stands ready to do is be our peace in every storm. To save souls, to turn hearts. He is still adopting the orphan. He is still pouring hope into situations. I can't hear you. He is still the peace that surpasses all understanding. He is still the King of Kings. He is still the Lord of Lords. He is all powerful, all present, and he is still waiting on a generation to point people to him, to say he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Are you ready? Are you ready to finish strong?
What Cedric did here is he asked two really big questions that I want us to ask ourselves, because I think if we asked ourselves these, they could really change how we think and feel. So question number one, if people were to listen to your prayers, how big would they think God is? If people heard what you prayed for every single day, if they listened to your prayer life, would they think that God is a God that just blesses your food every single day and helps you get a good night's sleep? Or would they know that God is a God who holds our future, who can do miracles, who could heal people, who loves you and who loves me, who forgives us of our sin? Would they think that God is a small God, or would they truly know and believe that God is bigger than any question, bigger than any request, bigger than any circumstance? What does your prayer life look like right now? Because right now, this is the perfect time to be casting any anxiety, any fear, any hope, any worry in our God, because right now, he can handle it. And right now, honestly, we need it. Question number two, who are you pointing people to? With the life, with the way you lead, with the conversations you have. Are you pointing people to worry, fear? Are you pointing people to escape from something with like Netflix or some other thing to distract us? Or are you pointing people to Jesus? Are you pointing people to hope, to love, to a future in Christ? To the truth that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever, because people, not just in a time like this, but people yesterday, today, and forever need to know that truth. They need to have a hope in Jesus. With your life right now, who are you pointing people towards? So what are we gonna do to have a faith to finish strong? First, we're gonna remember yesterday. Remember your why. This fuels you. This helps you keep running the race. And now step number two is you're gonna do something today. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, focus on what you can do. Focus on the people you can serve, you can give, you can love on today. And this will help you remind yourself every single day to have faith to finish strong. And then finally, point three, what you're gonna do is you're gonna point people to the future. Point people to your God, the one who is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And when we point our faith to this, when we cast our fears, when we cast our anxieties in this truth, that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever, when we live out those three steps, we can have the faith to finish strong. Now, God, thank you so much that even though we can't meet physically, we can meet socially. We can connect online like this. Thank you for the tools in order to do that. And I pray that you let this truth resonate with all of us, that you are the same yesterday, today, and forever. I pray you give us the strength and the courage to every single day remember what came yesterday, to serve and to love the people in front of us today, and to point people to you now and in the future. God, we love you and we thank you for everything you've given us. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I pray this truth sits deep in you, and I pray this changes your life. See you back next week.
Hey guys, it's me again. I hope you enjoyed that awesome message. We're starting to get ready to go into our house hangouts. If you were here last week, we played a little game in our house hangouts called Zoom Bye. And you know what? It was so much fun. Like, I think Pink House, we played twice, at least twice. I lost both times. But it was a fun little house competition called Zoom Bye. And we're gonna be playing that again tonight because we all loved it so very much. But here's what's gonna happen. Instead of breaking out into our houses, we're gonna have a little virtual house competition. That's right. We are going to go head to head, house to house. All you need is a marker and some scraps of paper. It was a lot of fun last week. It's gonna be even more fun in just a couple minutes. See you there.